Well guys, I've been looking around the shop for a piece of plate I can use to raise the headstock up on from the wood lathe, and I haven't got anything one piece suitable thickness. All I can find is a couple of pieces of this diamond plate. So what I've decided to do, I've cut two pieces of it roughly to shape, roughly to size, and I've had it on the surface grinder and started grinding the diamonds flat on both sides, so I know it's parallel on the two sides. I've clamped them together and I've just tack welded the two pieces together on one side. I've only done this top side, and what I'm doing now is I'm machining these welds off, so I get a flat surface on this side. I can spin it over then and weld the other side, and then when I put it back in the shaper vise, I know, and machine the excess weld off the other side, I know the two sides are going to be parallel. I'll then work onto the opposite two ends. I don't think it needs a lot of welds on them, I'm only going to tack weld them. I think the thickness of it then is too much, so I'm going to have to machine it down even more, so when the headstock's on, the spindle runs parallel with the correct height with the tailstock. Right guys, I've tack welded the opposite side together now after machining this one down, so when that goes in the vise now, that goes in the vise, I know it's once it's machined, I know these two sides are going to be parallel. So I'm just going to take this excess weld off here, not too much to take off this side. Okay guys, I've got the top and bottom parallel now. I'm not sure if this will fit in the shaper vise lengthways, and maybe try and take some of these diamonds off on the shaper. If not, I'll put it onto the milling machine. I was initially intending using this piece. This was fastened onto the back of the Myford bed, and I'm presuming this forms some part of the taper turning attachment, and initially I was going to cut this into strips and use that as the raising piece, but I've had a look at it and it's hardened material. The file only just touches it, so I'm thinking I might save that, and there's a nice depth to it. I think I might save that, and that's a possibly make that into another wood turning chisel. But anyway, that's at some stage later. Let's get the wood lathe working first. Right, I've got the top and bottom machined. I'm going to see, I think it's an 8-inch capacity on this vise, so let's see if this will fit in. I've taken one end of the longest, shortest sides I should say. I don't think there's any need to do the other one, but while that's a straight surface, I'll put this back in the vise and machine those two down, but not sure if that will fit in or not. Let's get rid of these two of these excess wells first. Oh, 3 mil out, guys, won't go in. I think what I'll do, I've got enough width on this. Let's take that 3 mil off that side. 3.21 millimeters too high, guys. Well guys, I've just had it on the surface grinder. After I took a skim on the shaper, I put it on the surface grinder, and if you can see, it's not even all the way over. It's the surface grinder's been all the way across it, and it's not quite taking these diamonds out completely. So either the plate's warped in the centre, or these are haven't been cast exactly the same. But before I do any more to it, I'm going to put it back on the Myford bed, put the headstock back on, take another reading, see how much I've taken off, and see how much more needs to come off. Right guys, we're down to 2.13 millimeters now, so the last pass on the shaper and the surface grinder have taken just over a millimetre off, so I've still got 2 to go, 2.13. So if I put it back on the either the shaper or the surface grinder, I think that will enable it to get rid of the rest of those remaining diamond patterns that are on the plate. So yeah. Well, after a lot of work on the surface grinder, I think we're about there guys. We might be just a midges high, but I'm going to leave it at that at the moment. I'm going to concentrate on securing this to the bed. I've mentioned a few times that I'd like to use these 4 holes that are already drilled into the Myford base, but now I've made this plate, I've decided against it. I'll just bring you over a touch. This plate's on the larger side than the larger size than what the bed is. It's overlapped both sides on front and rear, so it gives me a bit of play now. So what I've decided to do, I'm not going to bother with the 4 holes. I can extend them slightly farther out either way. I can move the headstock farther that way, so it may be able to use the gap in the bed if I take the headstock farther that way. And what I can do, I've only drilled 2 of the holes in the bottom of the base, so I can reuse those and reposition the marks that I put for the other 2 holes to correspond with the widest part of this material. Another thing is that these are 5/16 Whitworth threads in the Myford base, and I've only been able to find one screw one bolt that will do, so I can drill some either 8 or 10 millimetre holes. I know I've got some bolts for that. So that's another reason for doing it. But if I mount this plate on and then position the headstock, I can put some transfer punches through and drill straight through into base, and then I know the holes will line up as well then. But yeah, I think that's the easiest option, guys. I've got a feeling we may be just slightly higher, but I want to check again once it's all bolted down. I can always take a final skim off. Right, let's see if I can cut this big aluminium wheel down. Well, it's going through that like butter, guys, no problem at all, so that shouldn't be a big problem cutting this down. Quite a big thick piece here towards the centre of the rim, but I think I'll swap that over for the large roughing end mill that I've got, and that can go through in one pass then. So yep, soon to have aluminium. Right guys, aligning the headstock up with the tailstock and on the bed. Both the spindle nose and the tailstock are both number 2 moist tapers. So I've got an AR32 collet chuck that's got a number 2 moist taper arbor, and I've attached in the collet a straight shank arbor that has a number 2 moist shank on it. So if I line those two up, it'll tell me if I'm correct height and if I'm in line. Now looking at it, I'm slightly high, which I thought I was, but I'm going to force it in till it locks. It's lifted this side of the headstock up, but I'm not concerned about that at the moment. What I want to do is get the two in line. So now bolt the tailstock down. Now, the bottom of this plate I've got a machined edge which lines up with this part of the bed. So if I use the calipers just to square the plate up, I don't have to be concerned about the headstock now because I know that's in line. All I'm concerned about is lining this plate up square. So excuse me if I'm in shot, guys, but just bear with me. Yeah, too wide at that side. I'm not bothered if this plate isn't centralised on the bed, because I knew I'd made it oversized. I don't suppose it matters if it's sticking out more of this side than at this, as long as it's in line. That's good, guys. And looking at it, this edge squares up with the base of the headstock, so yeah, I think that's good. Now I've got 2 holes already drilled in this side. If I put a transfer punch through now, I think I might clamp all this down together on the base with a sash clamp, just to hold it in place while I put the transfer punches through. I've still got 2 holes to drill on the base of this yet. I only marked them out, but I didn't drill them because, if you remember, I was getting pretty close to this wall. Now I've got this plate on, I can take them well away from this wall, drill through, and they'll still be in the thickest part of the bed wall. So I think that's the best solution. I've probably gained about 25 mil in length as well by taking it that way. Yeah, we're good there now, guys. We're parallel with the machined edge of this bed. So I'm looking at it, it's running parallel with the wall of the headstock, so that looks good to go. I think what I'll do, I'll clamp the headstock and put a sash clamp on the headstock down under the base, clamp that down while it's positioned there, and then I'll use some transfer punches. I've already got 2 holes drilled in this side. I haven't drilled this side yet. If you remember, when I'd marked it out, I was very close to this wall. So this side's got 2 holes drilled that are okay. So we get some transfer punches, punch them through while it's all clamped together, and I can clamp the plate onto the bed as well, so I can take the headstock off, and I know the plate is still in position. Should be able to see the transfer mark then, and just drill straight through into the bed. I think we're getting there, guys. Just as a double check, guys, the body of the headstock does line up with the base of the tailstock as well. Now, there's no guarantee that it was machined that way, but I can't see it being just a coincidence that it does line up. I've got 2 clamps now, one on either side, holding the new plate onto the Myford bed that's been machined at the bottom. So I know that's held tightly now, clamped. I'm just going to check that I've got that equidistant, the full length, and then I've got a transfer punch, the right size for the hole that's already drilled into the bottom of this. I'm just going to transfer that through the hole into this plate, and then I can take the headstock off, and I should be able to drill straight through this plate and into the Myford bed. I think what I'll do, guys, I'll just drill 1 hole first, tap it, put the headstock back on, put a bolt through, tighten it down, and then I'm sure the other 4 holes that I need to punch through then will be in line.
Stand by for action.
I wish I was a spaceman, the fastest guy alive. I'd fly you around the universe in Fireball XL5. Way out in space together, conquerors of the sky. My heart would be a fireball, a fireball. Every time I gazed into your starry eyes. We take the path to Jupiter, and maybe very soon we cruise along the Milky Way and land upon the moon. To a wonderland of stardust, we'd zoom our way to Mars. My heart would be a fireball, a fireball, 'cause you would be my Venus of the stars. But though I'm not a spaceman, famous and renowned, I'm just a guy that's down to earth with both feet on the ground. It's all imagination, I'll never reach the skies. My heart is still a fireball, a fireball. Every time I gaze into your starry eyes. Fireball, fireball. Every time I gaze into your starry eyes. Fireball, fireball.
Well, I think that's a massive improvement, guys. I'll enjoy using it now in future. Yeah, with that tubular bed, I just couldn't live with the vibration and the movement in the bed, especially on the tool rest. I had tried jacking it up, but for 40 quid and a bit of work, that's a massive improvement on it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you enjoy my videos. Please subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.